So, anyways, do you want to do a recording? We were going,
Yeah,
we were going to. We've been waffling, doing this whole. We haven't done any prep or anything. What are you feeling? We were both tired. I'm not trying to talk you out of it. If you're like, no, dog, I'm good. Let's still do it. But it's 10:45.
It's been kind of a slow news week, honestly. The only really big thing I've found to talk about is the Game Award nominees.
Well, we got two options, I guess. We can set up to do a quick little recording, or we can tack some gaming stuff into this, and I can do a switcheroo and put the politics at the end and the gaming stuff at the front and call it...
Whatever you feel more comfortable with. How about
call it a free recording? Dude, I love just vamping. It's been so long. I like just vamping about games. There's nothing wrong with the show format, but I'm kind of not feeling it, but I do want to talk about some video games and do some show stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to talk about this too much because obviously it's Game Club, but Satisfactory. I've been having a good time playing it with King.
Mm-hmm.
He's learned fluid dynamics. His first attempt was rough, but honestly, so was mine. Learning the new fluid dynamic systems and kind of the few weird eccentricities of it.
Yeah, how it kind of sloshes.
Yeah.
I found essentially priming things that fixes a lot of that, but also fluid buffers where you wouldn't think you would need them otherwise.
Yeah. I just finished rebuilding my factory too, because we got to the, what is it? Tiers 5 and 6.
Mm-hmm.
And my kid immediately wanted to get trains and start using trains, which I like. They changed the tech tree up just a smidgen, I think, with how you can collect resources, because I don't feel like you used to could get trains before you did trucks, but now you can immediately get trains. It takes a lot more handcrafting, but you can get trains first in that progression, which I think is nice for people who prefer trains to trucks anyways. But he immediately wanted to go for trains, and I was like, okay, we got trains. We've got a couple of little outpost stations set up. Trains are way overkill, though, for the stage that we're at. But whatever, my kid loves trains. It's fine.
I'm in half rebuilding, half expansion.
Yeah. So it's there is the rebuilding, but also the expansion portion of whenever you fix up your factory complex. And my power needs nearly tripled. So I went from only needing about 600 or 700 megawatts to needing right at 2 gigawatts.
Yeah, I'm basically at the stage where I need to improve my power generation. And one of my substations I built properly, where I could essentially run a second line of water and be able to build essentially a second line of coal power plants. I didn't build it quite correctly. I didn't account for just how fucking big coal power plants are.
Yeah.
So, I'm having to extend the platform down further than I had planned. But I'm able to essentially, still use the framework that I had in place and just run a second water line down in parallel. And, have it look, okay, but, I have it functional, right?
Yeah.
While my other one, I had thought I had enough room, but I didn't. So I'm going to have to probably move all the coal power generation to another site nearby. But it's making it so that it's a little bit tougher to be able to get going on that.
Yeah.
But also I need to go out and explore, get the burster spheres, I'm not quite at the stage where I have the summer sloops be useful, but I'm grabbing them when I can.
Yeah. I've got my quantum thingy up to 30 per minute, so 1 every 2 seconds. So I think that's the first upgrade, but I need to do another set of exploration and do some things with that. I have gotten to on the modular power mod or whatever it's called. I just got hydroelectric dams, which I was curious to see how those would do, if they would be cheaty, and they feel really balanced because like the largest spot I found for one can produce 200 megawatts, which is decent, but the resources that are required to build it make it way more expensive than an equivalent sort of coal power plant. So that's the trade-off. You can make a coal power plant that produces more power for sort of the same level of investment that you need to make a dam.
Yeah.
But the dam is just like you place it down and it gives you that much power as a constant output with no other resources. So it's like, it's cleaner, both in terms of like, I guess it's a renewable energy source, although pollution doesn't matter in Factorio, but it's clean, or not Factorio. It matters a lot in Factorio. It doesn't matter in Satisfactory.
Yeah.
So it's cleaner, and it's just sort of like place it and forget it. You will never have to troubleshoot it in case something breaks later on. But I mean, the trade-off for it is it's hella fucking expensive because it requires like one damn sectional requires like 5 supercomputers and 5 modular frames. And, those are expensive resources at this point in the game.
Yeah.
I'm producing like 2 modular frames a minute right now. And of course, all of the things that go into feeding to build the modular frames.
Yeah, that's why I'm in the process of rebuilding my ironworks to be able to, automate is modular frames and the high-end iron to be able to have a stockpile of it.
Yeah, we're at the part in this playthrough, I think, where it's like this is about as far as the initial factory complex that I like to build can do.
Well, I'm basically going into the final design of my initial factory with it be able to automatically output into the overflow.
Yeah.
I'm not comfortable setting up the directly into the quantum uploaders yet from a full-on factory. What I'd probably do is find like an isolated spot, tap into my power grid, and set up something that is dedicated just to upload the main basic resources.
Yeah.
Like
I have considered
like some sort of isolated limestone that's its job in life is to feed a quantum uploader.
Yeah.
With and it is hooked up to the quantum uploader is hooked directly to essentially a buffer of a cargo container or two of where that limestone deposit has been just churning out concrete.
Yeah. I would like to set up an entire. I was thinking about doing that too, setting up like a small, well, air quotes, small factory complex to do just that and have a quantum uploader. Although I don't know, because quantum uploaders use SAM ore, right? They don't use individual like summer sloop. No, they use Mercer spheres.
They use Mercer spheres.
Are Mercer spheres a renewable resource, or are
No.
there a final? Okay, so that might not actually be possible to use that many to set up.
There is a mod where you can buy them from the Awesome Shop, but they're 20 coupons each, which feels balanced.
Yeah, because that would get super expensive because of the, what is it, the quadratic, is that for squared, like for how expensive each subsequent coupon gets? I don't remember what the right term. Exponential, that's the word. Exponential. Yeah. So I'm definitely enjoying it. The story stuff, I'm still a little bit lost or in the dark, which I mean I think is by design, just because it's like very much a background thing. But maybe by the time we actually do the game club, I'll have gotten more of the story down. This is the first time I've been motivated to take it all the way to completion, all the way up through tier 9, which I don't think tier 9 was in before. I think it stopped at tier 8. But I've never even gotten to tier 8. The farthest I've gotten is tier 7, and then I've stopped every time. Or I will get like bogged down in some other project, within the game, and then get bored with it. but I really want to finish it just because, one, I want to see the completion of the story and what it has. And two, like, you know, all the cool stuff that they've added that I didn't even see the last time I did a playthrough. Like, I want to see that stuff too. But yeah, I don't want to say too much more since I don't want to eat too much into Game Club, because this is like in process versus like more final thoughts for Game Club stuff. But it definitely, like, there are pros and cons to playing with my kid, but overall it has made it a more enjoyable experience than past attempts. Because like I just give him a task, and like I have just set in my mind, like, you know, unless he just can't figure it out or gets broken, like I'm gonna send him to do something, and I'm gonna be okay with whatever he comes up with for the solution. And that has been fine. Because like I don't want to make him feel like I'm just like making him, you know, just like I'm doing everything, you know, and like downplaying his efforts. So usually we have like stage 1, I'll send him off to do a task, and then like stage 2 is like, okay, it's time to ramp this up. This got us through where we needed to. Now I'm gonna like do a rebuild, and you can go do the next task for the next step. And that has worked pretty well. But have there been any other games that you've been playing?
I've been playing some of the Pokemon trading card pocket game.
Is that a mobile game? I think
yeah,
I've
it's a
seen
mobile
that
game.
Okay, yeah.
So a rare mobile for me. And I'm still of two minds about it, because it has a serious day 2 problem, like most of the free mobile games do, where they front end so much shit on on that first day. Then, day 2 comes up and not a lot going on now, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not bad, but the thing is, it's just, it feels like if you didn't get lucky on your card picks, going into multiplayer, is just going to get you curb stomped, right?
Yeah.
And since you could buy into pulling more cards, and there's a premium where you could open more packs, unless you get lucky, oh boy, right?
Yeah.
The single player is actually the AI, once you get up to the tougher opponents, is actually pretty good about making smart moves. So that I've been playing the single player mostly on that, just to see how that does, and I've been enjoying it. But it's one of those things that I'm not sure if I'm going to stick with it long term.
Yeah.
It really depends on how they pump out content, because right now, if I load it up, you can open up 2 packs a day, all right, as a freebie player. And they do stack, so if you're not exactly on the mark on day on that 12-hour timer, it doesn't hurt you,
Yeah. 2 packs a day seems pretty low. I mean, I guess I don't know the rest of the game or how it plays, but that feels pretty
you
low.
also, as you play, you accumulate hourglasses. So, which each hourglass knocking an hour off the timer.
Oh, okay.
So, like, your login bonus for doing a couple things each day is a handful of hourglasses. You could go to the shop and you get. They are actually pretty generous about shop tokens, which is the primary currency that's used in the shop. But if you run out of shop tokens, oh boy, you could use that Pokegold, right?
Of course.
Which is the premium currency.
Yeah.
To buy into. Okay, so. Well, let's get into the shop tokens real quick. And we could do a more of a deep dive next week for the show proper, because it sounds like we're just riffing at this point.
Yeah.
You get shop tokens through missions, which is just collection things, as a bonus for completing single player battles, and also whenever somebody sends you a thanks on the Wonder Pick, which is an option to go in and look at either your friends or random people's card packs that they opened, and be able to pick one of those at random to add to yours. which that also has its own separate stamina meter on it. That stacks up to 5 icons. When the rare and the essentially the better the pack is, the more icons it takes to pick from it.
Okay.
So, like right now, I'm looking at my Wonder Picks. Here's one that's 2 hearts or whatever you want to call it. That has a Flareon I don't have and an Eevee I don't have. And Flareon is a fairly strong card. If I go down to the next one down, has 5 cards that all have that. That really stands out. Next one down has a alternate art Diglett that I don't have, and that's 3 hearts. Scroll down, another one that I have everything of, that's 1 heart. Another one down that has everything I have, that's 1 heart. But if you pick from one of these, you can send them a thanks, which in turn gives them a shop token to use in the shop. So that's another way that it kind of promotes a little bit of like community.
Sure.
And also, making friends with other people to be able to send shop tokens back and forth because your friends have a higher chance of being in the Wonder Picks. Like Anita shows up here. So I can pick from her pack, send her a thanks, and then she can pick from mine and send me a thanks, and we can pick up shop tokens, which is what's used to be able to get more hourglasses. The introductory pack is 2 shop tokens give you an hourglass, either the Wonder Hourglass or the regular one. Wonder Hourglass is used for Wonder Picks. The other one is used for opening packs. With getting a pack of 6 of them is 12 each. Then they have a monthly refresh on the shop where you can buy up to 10 times the same things, but they're more expensive because, of course, it's not the introductory one, right?
Right.
But the fact that you get actually get stuff from the shop, plus the daily check-in gives you an hourglass and a shop token. So if you check in every so often, you'd eventually get enough to buy hourglasses to be able to open packs quicker, right?
Yeah.
But you're never going to compete with somebody that's buying the premium subscription and buying into the thing hardcore, right?
Yeah. You can never outspend.
Mm-hmm.
You can never outplay someone who's spending real money and stuff like this. Before I shift gear on something, do you have more stuff you want to talk about it this week? I know you said get more into it for the show proper. Yeah.
For Pokemon Pocket, not really. There's supposed to be some sort of trading aspect to it later on, but it's not implemented yet because, of course, it's not.
Of course. Do you remember the site that we used to use to get game keys? Key mailer.
Yeah.
I got an email from them today. Maybe it's yesterday. That was like, "You've been selected." Like it sounded like real scammy. If I didn't know who it was, I'd be like, "Oh, this is spam mail. Let me delete this." I looked at it, and there's some game called Mystery, but it's like MIST Mist. That's doing like an open, like I guess invite to come play test their game via key mailer. So whatever this game is, I have a copy of it that I might play and talk about before next week. But that popped up today, and I was like, huh. It doesn't normally look like my type of game. Like, if I go look at the store page for it on Steam, it's like some kind of like turn-based action or like strategy horror game. Like, it seems like it's SCP inspired based on just like the screenshots. I mean, I could be wrong, but just glancing at some of the stuff on the screenshots, some of it gives off like SCP vibes to me. So I might check it out, but also like I don't like horror games very much. So yeah. Anyways, I might check that out to talk about. I haven't played very many games lately. I like when we talked to during the politics episode, like the post-election episode thingy. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna play Transport Fever, gonna fire up some of these like old school, or not old school, but these old like comfort games. And I did, but I didn't play them for very long. Satisfactory has been feeling that kind of niche for me. I haven't played World of Warships with my kid, but there's some Star Trek crossover event right now. Where there's a bunch of like Star Trek kind of skins for some of the ships you can get, and they're like co-op event mode that they do every year. That's like all Star Trek theme, like you're fighting the Borg. But it's, it's repetitive. It's fine. I like playing with my kid, something to spend time together and talk while we play, but it's nothing like special to write home about, I just haven't been playing a lot of games. Working more, taking care of other things. Maybe someday gaming will be a much larger priority in my life again.
Right.
I also haven't been doing as much tabletop gaming. A lot of my groups have had to cancel because of, various commitments to work or life stuff. Or whenever we have gotten together, people don't want to play. Some of that's a mood thing, though. Like, following the election, like there were a couple weeks where people just didn't have it in them to pretend to be silly little guys. So, just in general, I haven't done as much gaming. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm still playing, but I need a vacation or some like vacation time. I don't want to go anywhere. I just want to take some time off of work. For Thanksgiving next week, I've got, a 4-day weekend, and I have like canceled absolutely everything I could from the 28th through whatever the following Monday is. What is the Monday after Thanksgiving? The 2nd. From the 28th through the 2nd, I have canceled like everything I possibly could. We're not even like doing Thanksgiving proper. Like everybody here at the house is gone. They're all going to visit their families. Katie had to work. So we were just like, fuck it. We're just going to like hunker down. I'm going to smoke a brisket. I guess just for me, because my kid's not going to eat brisket. He's not there. He has been expanding his palate. We finally like maybe have gotten past the era of no, all I want are chicken nuggets and hot dogs and pizza. But I'm kind of like,
well, now you need chicken hot dog pizza.
I would try chicken hot dog pizza. I don't know if it would be good, but I'd try it.
Actually, my favorite has kind of turned into white pizzas, where it's no marinara, it's all, just cheese.
So no sauce at all? Like, not even like, because when you said white pizza, I thought
the cheese turns
sauce
into a sauce, essentially.
Gotcha. I don't know how I feel about that. Whenever I order pizza, I always get extra marinara. I like a very saucy pizza. Ooh, food portion of the podcast. It's been a while since we've done a food portion. Have you been cooking anything good lately? Anything new or special? Like, obviously, like,
it's been tougher for me to cook lately because, I just work. And
right.
Then I come home and I'm tired.
You cook as a huge portion of your work, too, so.
Yeah, but I did have my first soup day of soup season.
Delicious.
Basically threw together a pot of potato soup.
Mm-hmm.
One of the big comfort foods for me growing up was just bowl of potato soup, maybe a grilled cheese or something along those lines.
Yeah,
but that's that was my big thing. I was really excited that hey, it's cold enough. I can make potato soup, and I already have everything, so I don't have to fucking leave the house for it.
Awesome. I love that. I did potato soup a few weeks ago. Like, I've been making soups. Thursday is my regular cooking day, and then I occasionally pick up an extra day here or there because, like, I like cooking. And so whenever someone's going to be out, like, usually it's like, hey, Jared, can you cook? They'll ask me first. So every Thursday I've been making some kind of soup since, like, October. So we've done taco soup. We've done vegetable beef soup. We've done a couple of different kinds of chili, potato soup. Did I say that? Potato soup, beef stew, and then this week is like Italian week. I cooked last night, so I made meatball subs. I hadn't done that in a while, so made some meatball subs. That was good. And then Thursday night.
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
A Thursday night, I'm doing a baked pasta. It's pretty easy, but slightly different than just doing like spaghetti or whatever. But I mean, it's not lasagna.
Well, tomorrow I'm going to hit the grocery store, and then tomorrow evening I'm going to make bubble bread because there's uh, a Thanksgiving work party Saturday that I've been strong-armed is probably the wrong term, but you're a manager now. You have to be social, right?
Yeah,
And bubble bread is basically savory monkey bread.
yeah. I've had bubble bread before.
Okay, because I had to explain this to a few people. It's like, okay, monkey bread, how it's sweet. Well, this is garlic bread version of it.
Hmm.
Maybe if I'm feeling fancy, I'll put a little bit of cheese in it, but right.
Yeah.
And this is what a white pie looks like, or a white pizza. It's not the exact one I use, but I was just looking for a decent enough example.
Well, come on, Discord. There we go. Oh, okay.
Basically, it's mozzarella, ricotta, garlic, and oil that makes the sauce. And the version I like to use or make has a spinach.
I'm not a spinach on pizza kind of guy. I don't really like cooked spinach all that much. I like raw spinach. Throw it in a salad or, something like that. Like I'm good, but I don't really like cooked spinach unless you like crisp it up in a skillet or something.
That's a little crispy actually.
Okay. Yeah, like most of the time whenever I eat spinach that people have cooked, it's mushy. And I don't want mushy spinach.
Well, the edges get nice and crispy.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's in a fucking pizza oven.
Right.
Or a blazing hot oven, right?
Yeah. Which makes sense.
Yeah, I don't really know what we're doing for Thanksgiving, honestly, because I don't want to do a chicken because I cook chicken every fucking day, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
Although once I finally escape the pit into a more managerial role, which feels a little weird,
Yeah.
I'll be more open to having chicken more often again. But pretty much have to do the gochujang Brussels sprouts because Anita demands them. Only reason why we don't have them more often is they make a fucking mess to cook. And Anita's a lot more picky than me.
Yeah.
So, I'd be happy, like, doing, like, a pork roast, but for her, it has to be a very heavily spiced or seasoned pork roast. Like, I did Cardita pork.
Mm-hmm.
And she ate it, but she wasn't wild for it,
Yeah.
Which I thought it turned out really well, but
Yeah, like I said, I'm smoking a brisket. I've got a couple
and
in the
also
freezer.
Anita doesn't really care much for meat on the bone.
Yeah. Which I guess I get, but also that feels weird to me too. Like, love ribs, love, whole chickens and turkeys and, things like that. So,
well, I just try to work with the restrictions I get,
right. I haven't made anything weird here recently, and we don't do as many work lunches and stuff as we used to because we're so much busier at the office all the time now. So I have nobody has anywhere near the downtime that they once had.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's okay. Like that's how life goes.
Yeah.
Job security, I guess. Like, I've got plenty of clients coming to see me. I don't remember if I told you or not the other day. Like, I'm like for first time appointments, I'm nearly a month out on my schedule, and like people keep, calling and like asking for me, and the thing that's been said a couple times is like, Jared, your reputation is too good. Like, you need to go out there in public and somehow like show your ass. I'm like, I get what you're saying. No thanks. I'm glad I've got a good reputation. But yeah, keeps me busy. I had a new client today, and she was like, "Yeah, it's really hard to get in to see you." Like that feels so weird. I I don't know what to say to that. She's like, "Well, you come very highly recommended by like this person and that person who are clients of mine." And I'm sitting there nodding, like, "Yep." She's like, "I know you can't say anything because of like confidentiality rules and stuff, but like, you know, they all said that I should come see you." And it's like that kind of thing like keeps happening. Feels weird. Because like to me, right, like you're talking about this whole like imposter syndrome thing for like becoming a manager at your job, but for me, it's like I'm just some like weird little guy who is just like a weirdo and talks to people and like somehow like their lives get better and people like, you know, like feel better when they come to talk to me and like believe that I like know what I'm doing. And it's like sometimes I'm like, yes, I know what I'm doing. I'm good at my job. And then other times it's like, I don't know what I'm fucking doing, man. I'm just like talking about weird stuff and it seems to be like doing good things for you. So I can, to a certain degree, relate. I have had Satisfactory up this entire time.
Yeah.
Just letting the
I
factory
didn't want to
churn.
get distracted with it.
I mean, I'm not doing anything. I'm running around in circles and letting the factory churn.
Well, I have the factory like half rebuilt on mine. And I'm completely negating some of the bonus of the Steam Deck because I'm playing it on the Steam Deck, but I have a mouse and keyboard connected.
Yeah. I don't know how I'd feel about playing it with like, effectively a controller.
I mean, it's doable, but it's not very fun.
Yeah. I feel like there'd be a lot of ways in which you would be restricted
Uh,
movement and
Actually, you could get around it. There's some, you know, user-made profiles, and the
yeah.
Steam Deck can do select sub-menus to make things easier. But, at the end of the day, I have a Bluetooth mouse and keyboard. Why not?
So, but yeah, might as well. Do, 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 do. I don't know if I've got anything else to riff on. Do you have anything else you want to riff on?
Well, do we want to save the Game Awards for next week?
It's up to you. We can talk about the Game Awards, and I can pull them up if you
Okay,
want,
how
or we
about
can save them.
this one thing that popped up from the Game Awards? What do you think about DLC being considered for Game of the Year?
Is that a Game Awards thing? Is that where I've
Yeah,
seen this like
yeah,
argument on social
yep,
media come from?
yep.
I don't give a fuck. Like, okay, generally speaking, like in the olden days, like DLC when DLC was first like rolling out,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so. But some DLCs like The Witcher's Blood and Wine DLC, that's basically another game.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah, but in my view of it, it should be its own category. It shouldn't be Game of the Year.
that's fair enough. Yeah. Okay. I think DLC can be good enough to receive, extremely high praise and consideration for like serious awards. I am okay with it not taking over the Game of the Year category because that does feel like a way to just like keep giving the same game the same award every year. So that makes sense to me. So like split the difference. Yeah, I agree with you. Split the difference. Give it its own category.
Hell, and I'll go one further. I don't think remakes and remasters should be considered for Game of the Year. And if there's enough of them, put them in their own category.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that. Like remakes and remasters can be good and can be like, excellent technical achievements and improvements in their own right. But yeah, they're not new games. Like they had their, time in the spotlight to be considered for that type of award. Like let it go. Let it go. Your game was either commercially successful enough or critically like loved enough for people to want a remaster of it. Like, good job, you did it, you won. Let it go.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, seeing like Persona 3 this year, popping up over and over again. Yeah, we're talking about a game that's what 10, 15 years old.
Yeah, Persona 3 is an older title.
So why not? Yeah, it feels like it's taking space that could be offered to other games, but also I'm kind of the feeling where you also don't need the same game to be in half a dozen different categories.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where the hard limit would be if there even needs to be one, but seeing the same handful of games pop up over and over and over again when they're going. Yahtzee last year when they were talking about the Game Awards, shortly after second one started up. He figured out like the kind of the politics of it, where okay, so the Nintendo title is going to win this one. They're going to give the artsy fartsy game this one. So it doesn't make a lot of sense whenever you see the big title of the year and half a dozen categories when it only is going to like win game of the year.
Yeah.
And as much as we kind of bemoan the idea of the Game Awards these days as getting more and more less serious about actually shining a light on games and more about their big premieres and turning it essentially into a new E3 for smaller titles for the indie scene, getting nominated for the Game Awards is fucking huge.
Yeah.
And
I could being like a huge publicity thing. That makes sense to me.
And having, I think Baltaro this year is nominated for a half dozen categories, and the developer actually came out and said, "I got really lucky that this game clicked so well, but there should be more spotlight on other developers."
Yeah.
And I 100% agree with them.
Good on that guy. I still haven't played Balatro. Like I've seen
Balatro, yeah.
I've seen it a bunch of times. It looks great. I think I would love it. I just haven't played it. I haven't got around to it.
So I might send you some crack for Christmas at this rate.
Ooh, shiny.
Yeah, because we're coming up on the Christmas season. I need to figure out both you and Anita.
Yeah, I'm always up for some good Christmas crack. I haven't done any Christmas shopping for anybody yet in any capacity. I probably should. Probably should get on that.
And hope to be able to go out thrifting a couple times and find you some fun stuff. But lately, the thrift stores, it's either just not anything interesting, or it's the same very, very well abused George Foreman grills, and and nothing that really jumps out.
I have been going thrifting a couple times a month. I think I've mentioned this to you before, like on the days when my kid has his late Taekwondo class, instead of coming home after work, I'll go for like a little walk and then hit up the thrift stores around town, because there's 3. And I haven't found anything good in a hot minute. Right now I'm looking for a toaster oven. I saw an idea that I want to try with all of my kind of failed 3D print stuff.
Yeah.
And like it makes perfect sense of like getting or making molds out of something and then just using a little toaster oven. You put it in a well ventilated area, obviously, so you're not breathing in plastic fumes, and then you just fill up the mold with your plastic or your resin scraps, melt them all down, and it will reform into the mold. And it's a way to reuse your scraps, reuse your failed prints, and do something neat. And like as soon as I'm like, oh, that's a good idea, I should just like find a half decent sized toaster at a thrift store. Suddenly, I haven't seen any toaster ovens in like 3 weeks. I haven't seen any
Have you watched
ovens.
Technology Connections lately? Because he's talked about how basically toaster ovens have been supplanted by air fryers.
Air fryers, yeah. I watched his No Effort November episode on the air fryer.
Yeah, and he has a point where toaster ovens have this connotation of not being very good, you know?
Yeah.
While meanwhile, air fryers are, this huge fad that's somehow still going on. But toaster ovens basically have adopted a little bit of air fryer in this, which that's the one I use. Is essentially what would have been called a toaster oven back in the day, that has a pretty decent fan on it and does actually fairly well. Because I'm not sure if you still have it, but I sent you my old one that the post office rearranged some of the housing on.
Yeah, I got damaged in shipping. It actually died. We
It did.
used it for a while. I kind of put everything back in place, tested it out, it worked. And then I got out my soldering iron and did like a little plastic weld on it to put it back together. And it was good for a little while, but it died. I don't know what happened to it. It died like late last year.
Mm-hmm.
So we bought another little air fryer to stick in the basement.
Well, I'm glad that you at least got some use out of it.
Yeah.
I mean, it could have been something that happened in shipping, or it was, a Walmart special, so, right?
Yeah.
I think I spent more shipping it to you than I actually spent on it itself.
Oh, thanks.
Or if not, it was, a close thing, because I got it on a Black Friday deal or something like that, where, it was something like $20-$30, something like that. But it was the basket style, that is like the main version that people think of when they think of air fryers. Well, I actually prefer the toaster oven style.
Yeah.
Mostly because you can do a whole lot more in it.
Yeah. But I want a toaster oven that can get up to about, well, I mean, most of them get up to at least 400 degrees. I'm looking for one that has a broil setting if possible.
Yeah.
For some of the more like, for some of the different types of resin and filament that I have used. But I just can't find one that's a big enough size. That's the thing. I've seen like some itty bitty toaster ovens.
Okay, now I'm just gonna look on straight on Amazon, because
Yeah.
how big would you need it?
I haven't thought about actual literal dimensions, and I haven't looked one up on Amazon because, like, I want to run up on one at Goodwill or WeCare or for like $2, because this is not like a high priority for me. But then let's go look at toaster ovens. Let's see, toaster oven.
Because here's a Black & Decker that is just under a foot deep and 16.9 inches wide, which has a broil setting and could get up to 450 degrees, and it's $55.
That's not bad. I want something that's at least big enough that I can, like, I mean, obviously you can stick your hand in all of them, but to be able to maneuver around like a couple of molds in there at a time that are maybe like 4 or 5 inches in diameter and, equally as tall. Something about doing something simple like skulls or, something like that like will look nifty in like different pearlescent colors. So I want something that's big enough to like fit a couple of those in there and my hand comfortably, in case I have to like open it and check it, pull stuff out in the middle of the process while I'm learning. I mean, $55 is not bad. Like, if I couldn't find anything at a thrift store that matched what I wanted by the time I was ready to start using it, I wouldn't feel, bad about spending $55 on that. It would be one of the cheapest sort of 3D printing adjacent things that I had bought this whole process over the last couple of years. But, I would still, like, because it's not a high priority. I don't even have enough material yet to really use. It's just like, I'm just waiting.
I'm sorry. I just saw an absolutely massive one. It's more air fryer than anything. And it's Emerald Lagasse as well.
Bam!
But it has French doors on it,
French doors?
Yeah, the 2 doors that open up.
Yeah. Fancy. Probably really expensive too, I'd imagine.
Not as expensive as you might expect, but yeah, it's more than what you would want to pay for a plastic melter.
I would expect it to be a couple $100.
190.
Okay, so yeah,
So not quite there.
more or less what I was expecting.
But it also goes up to 500 degrees, which is unusual in the air fryer world. Usually it's 400.
Yeah.
Yeah, this Hamilton Beach one might not be bad for you. Mostly because it's easier for you to manipulate something inside the oven. So instead of having like a garage door that you open that pulls down,
Yeah.
this has a lid that flips up, and the entire tray kind of slides out a little bit.
Oh, that's nifty. I like that.
$60. Let's see, what's the dimensions on this? It goes up to 450 degrees. Doesn't mention if it has a broil setting. Only 9 inches deep, but 16 inches wide. But it looks like it's a bit taller than the other ones. Here, I'll link you this one. If I can find the share, or just send you a massively long link, but I'm trying to avoid that.
Yeah.
And it looks like you could get it used for $41.
On Amazon?
Yeah.
I didn't know Amazon did used
Yeah.
stuff.
Especially
like
for electronics.
I have seen used electronics. I guess I don't think of it as a small appliance in the same sort of way. I mean, I guess technically though it is a small electronic device.
Yeah, there's directly Amazon resale. Large cosmetic imperfections on top, front, or sides of the item. Item will come repackaged. That's acceptable. Then there's like new, which is 53, which is at this point, might as well just get the damn thing new, right?
Yeah.
Compared to 59.
Riveting stuff.
I know, right?
We're a couple of old men though. Like we're excited about our toaster ovens and our weird little projects. At least I know I am.
Oh my.
Love myself a toaster oven and a side project.
There you go. I finally found it. I was looking for the wrong icon to share the damn thing.
Thank you, sir.
But yeah, it has like a roll top desk almost,
I do really like how that opens. I like that a lot.
And that's probably going to be like the best access you're going to have from one of these things.
Yeah. I reckon if I don't find one to buy or at a thrift shop, I'll probably come back and buy this one. I mean, I might as well. I'm gonna add it to my wish list. Might as well, since Christmas is coming up. Somebody might see this and buy me a toaster oven. Which, at that point, like, I don't care. It was free to me.
Yeah.
I could just see my
mom. Like all the other options are, just air fryers wearing, the toaster oven skin, right?
Yeah.
Or they're the same, like, form factor. Is this the same one I sent you, or is this... Okay, it looks like Hamilton Beach has a larger version. Yeah, this is a larger version of the same one, but I'll send it to you anyway. There's the 6-slice version.
I could absolutely see my mom, though, looking at this and being like, why do you have a toaster oven on your wish list? And my response to her will be 3D printing. And she'll just go, oh. And then she won't ask me any more questions. Like, that is definitely how that conversation would go.
Yeah, those two, which I know is basically one slightly bigger version of the other one. Seems like about the best option you would have. Short of, just getting a large enough one to be able to reach in, but then you're looking at probably $150 or higher.
Yeah, that's way too much.
And you're starting to get into just big air fryer territory.
Yeah.
Which I'm not sure how that would work on what you wanted to do with it.
I don't know either. I mean, it's hot air, you know.
Yeah, but it's also blowing around and might disrupt the molds.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, since we're talking about repurposing things, one thing I'm actually thinking about repurposing hardware into a cooking implement is a heat gun.
Oh, I mean, I could see how that could work. I have a heat gun, and boy, howdy, does it get fucking hot.
Basically, using it to like finish off pizzas or do some browning.
Yeah, I could see where that would work too. I've never tried it to do browning, but I'd imagine it would work.
I mean, I have a little torch that I'll uh, use occasionally for the same purpose, but a heat gun would be a more general area instead of like fine tuning.
Yeah, and I think my heat gun on its high setting gets up to like 1200 degrees or something like that. Like,
Yeah, what I'm
I mean, that's
yeah
at the tip, but still.
yeah yeah the one I'm looking at is also 1200. But there's so much shit poorly translated. Uh, I'm not sure if this is actually going to work. Products on Amazon for that.
Yeah.
So right now it's like kind of a placeholder to be able to go check out later.
Yeah. Man, now you got me wanting to experiment.
Uh-oh.
I've never thought about that before. Like, it makes sense to me, though. I mean, I've got my heat gun hanging up on like a little thing on my workbench behind me. I'm not going to go cook some food right now. It's almost midnight, but...
Yeah, like, the big one for me is especially like pizza.
Yeah.
You want that, browning. But if I'm being lazy, I don't want to, broil or, if, I just want like, I put like bell peppers on it and I want to be able to get those a little bit more charred. I'll hit them with the torch a little bit for a little bit of torch hay or, stir fry. I'm there, with my, torch in the wok, getting some, char on things. I mean, it wouldn't work for that situation, but getting some nice melty cheese, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Might have to try that. I don't work with my baked pasta or my baked spaghetti on Thursday, but I gotta come up with something to try that on now. Thank you, sir, for an excellent idea. When it happens, I will report back on my results. Success or failure. Bit my tongue again, by the way. I'm not eating anymore, but you like after you bite your tongue, it gets to the part where it's like, well, you'll bite it like 5 or 6 more times. And just talking, like I just bit my tongue a minute ago.
Well, stop that.
I would love to. I'm having a case of bad tongue, which is a weird thing to say now that it has left my mouth. But I already said it, so it's too late.
Should probably start winding down and go get some rest. See Anita off. Go get some more rest. Go to the store and make bread.
Gay bread. Oh, that was a yawn, a real yawn, not a forced yawn. My little nappy, I guess, kept me going for a little longer than I otherwise would have. But I am also starting to feel a little sleepy. So we can put Craig to bed, and then put ourselves to bed.
Bad touch.
Well, I'll only come tuck you in if you want me to. But I'm going to tuck Craig in as soon as I get onto the right channel. Oh, God. Discord. It's freezing up on me. As soon as I get to the right channel. Good night, Craig. Mwah.